Okay, we're back with another episode of the Lonely Stoner podcast, episode 25. This is now. Wow, it's come a long way, bro. Over 100 subs now, 101 subs, I believe.
Great. Yes, that's a big accomplishment, something to be proud of.
I think so, bro. I mean,
100... considering we haven't been doing this that long, obviously the amount of side quests you've put out is massively helped. But even with that, we haven't been doing this that long. Since what, like October last year?
Bro, October, yeah. So what's that, 6 months?
Over 100 subs, that's not bad work in my opinion. You'd hope that the growth would multiply, because if you're just getting 100 subs every 6 months, that's not great. But still, for the very first 6 months, 100 subs, I mean, that's really good in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it seems like it could be one of those sorts of things where it's like a snowball effect.
Yeah, exactly. And once you get some momentum, it starts going. Because it didn't even feel like it was like the other week we were on like late, probably 80 something.
Yeah.
And today we're over 100. So
yeah. And even with the Twitter account, the same thing. We're probably on like near 440 something followers now.
Yeah,
it feels like not that long ago we were on like 200 something followers.
Yeah, I think you probably are right in the sense that it's one of those snowball effect things, like on social media. Once you have a bit of traction, you start getting seen more, and your numbers start going up.
Yeah.
No, well, we're here though. We're proud to be here, proud to be presenting the Lonely Stoner podcast.
Of course, man. Here's to the next 25.
Of course, and then the 25 after that.
Exactly, man. Exactly. But obviously, we've had a lot going on. Obviously, Wrestlemania's happened. That was obviously a huge event. What was your thoughts on WrestleMania 41?
I enjoyed it more than I didn't enjoy it. I mean, we could very briefly go through each match.
Yeah.
The first one was Jey Uso defeating Gunther by submission. I think the result was expected. The match was okay, but the finish was just a bit iffy, in my opinion, having Gunther tap out on the biggest stage.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but the thing is, I'm just not a huge fan of Jey Uso's matches. That's the thing. Obviously, I get he's over, good entrance and all that, but his matches are just really nothing special.
For me, I look at a guy like Jey Uso and I feel like he's popular for the same reasons Seth Rollins is popular. It's superficial reasons, it's catchphrases, music, stuff like that. That's why they're popular. It's not. Yeah. I mean, I think Seth Rollins is a lot better than Jey, but for me, it's so superficial reasons why they're popular, and that's why I don't like them.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping, to be fair, now that both guys have had quite big changes to their character. Not quite big changes to the character for Jey Uso, but Seth Rollins' character's definitely changed quite a bit.
Yeah, big change. We'll get on to him later, but his character's had big changes, yeah.
So I'm hoping we'll see, something a bit better from him, because there was at one point Seth Rollins was doing some really interesting stuff. These past few years, it's been kind of weird, but yeah, back to Jey Uso.
Yeah, I think there was we'll talk about Seth Rollins in that little era you talked about there when we talked about his match, but Jey Uso, yeah. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, Jey Uso, I think he's the type of guy that if he's got the right guy to be in a storyline or a rivalry with, he could maybe do something quite good. I mean, this storyline with Gunther and Jey Uso has been an interesting storyline, and seeing Gunther beat him up quite a bit, but it was just predictable where you knew Jey Uso was going to win it in the end. I don't know who he's going to feud with next, though. Jey Uso. There's
some names out there, because he's got the World Heavyweight Championship at the end of the day, and that's main event scene right there. And WWE have a lot of main event guys right now, so there's really a multitude of guys they could put in that storyline. But I'm hoping that Jay's not going to hold it for that long, because he's one of those faces that he's way better chasing it than he is holding it, and it's the opposite for Gunther. I mean, separating. I mean, it's a good. I actually do think it's quite a good thing, Gunther, for Gunther to lose this match, because he can do one of two things. He can now either go away for a little bit, or he can separate himself from the Jey Uso rivalry and work with somebody else. I mean, there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of main eventers out there for him to work with still. So it could definitely allow him to move on and work with something else. But the match itself, expected result, nothing too special, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
And we had tag team match. I'll be honest, I didn't even pay attention to this one. New Day beating the War Raiders.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's just nothing, isn't it?
It's just nothing. It's just no build up. That tag team division has gone to shit.
Yeah,
it's nothing. It's just nothing to really pay that much attention to. And then we had Jade Cargill defeating Naomi. Again, I think an expected result. The match was, I guess, serviceable. You have what you'd call a veteran now in Naomi versus what you would definitely call a rookie in Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
It was an okay match. I mean, it didn't go longer than 10 minutes. It served the purpose of the rivalry. And that's all I have to really say about it.
Yeah, I've got nothing to add. Like you said, it's a WrestleMania match. It served its purpose as like the way to end off that rivalry.
And obviously putting Jade Cargill over, who they see as a future potential main eventer in the women's scene.
Yeah, definitely. There was no way Jade was going to lose, in my opinion.
No way.
Unless they were going to do a sort of thing where Naomi won dirty and they want to continue the storyline. That's
continue the rivalry. Yeah,
it would have worked, but there was real reality. There's no way.
Expected result. Jade Cargill. I do think the WWE see her as one of the next big women's stars. So it makes sense. Yeah, she's got a crazy player build.
Yeah,
very not like China where she's just bulging muscles and looks like a man. Like she does look like a woman. She's bolo, but she looks like a woman.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely leaving here with something.
Facts.
Where did you put her on your tier list?
Oh, I can't remember.
Shout out to the tier list, though.
Yeah, shout out to the most dangerous video we've made yet. I want to say I put her in decent. I'm pretty sure I put her in decent.
Okay, fair enough.
I wouldn't say she's bad, or anything, but she's alright.
What was this rating about Nia Jax? I was hearing though saying sorry.
Yeah, I had to apologise because she went in the nah section. Did she go? She either went in nah or dead. Either way, I'm leaving with nothing.
I speak for yourself.
That is your crush, though.
No, it's more Raquel. What about Raquel? Did you do her?
Raquel, she would have been in the tier above Nia Jax. I can't exactly remember where I put all of them.
Jesus.
She's more doable than Nia Jax.
I agree, definitely.
For sure. But she's still got a bit too manly of a figure for me.
That's what it's all about, though.
I mean, she's got more of a manly figure than Nia Jax.
Yeah, she does. Definitely.
Well, I guess sometimes that's not a bad thing, isn't it?
Bro, that's what I'm saying. It needs to be. I want to have a physical battle, bro. Like, I don't want it to be easy, bro.
You just want something interesting.
Facts, bro. Let's,
yeah, you could go for this 5 foot slim thick baddie. But
that's what everyone would go for.
It's too easy. Nice.
Exactly,
you're right. It's too easy.
I need a physical battle. I need something that's gonna fight back, bro.
Speaking of fighting back, though, we had Jacob Fatu fighting back against LA Knight's title reign with the United States Championship. Again, it's a result that absolutely made sense. Jacob Fatu's in his debut year, first WrestleMania. LA Knight's much older guy. He's very over with the fans. About as over as he's gonna get with the fans.
Yeah.
He doesn't need this US title. We had a nice little run. Had it twice, 2 different points. Yeah, there's not much to be said. I mean, the match itself was pretty good. It wasn't too long, but LA Knight definitely made Jacob Fatu look good, and I would even say the other way around as well, where LA Knight was made to look quite good as well. But great match, good finish, clean victory, which was necessary for Jacob Fatu. You didn't really want to have any tomfoolery here. You want to legitimize his danger and his skill. So definitely a good match. Expected result. We're expecting a lot from Jacob Fatu in this next year.
Yeah, definitely like a sleeper match, in my opinion. It's a type of match that definitely could have gone under the radar. But this storyline as a whole, both guys have come across really well, where it's not like it's just been Jacob Fatu dominating LA Knight week in and week out. So LA Knight's been getting his own back on Jacob Fatu throughout this storyline too. And good to see Jacob Fatu win a belt. And I wouldn't say finally win a belt, but he's not been in the WWE for that long at all.
No, I want to say, I can't remember exactly when he showed up. Was it like Survivor Series or something? A bit earlier than that. No, I want to say it was about like 6-7 months ago. Whenever that was.
No. It's way more than that. I think it was just after. After Cody beat Roman for the belt, and Roman was gone, and he's beefing Solo, and then Solo was bringing in the new guys.
June 21st, 2024.
Yeah.
SmackDown. Okay, yeah. He joined Solo Sikoa's bloodline and attacked Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Not even a year in. Didn't go to
Yeah.
NXT, straight to the main roster. But that's what you need to do, bro. And that's why a guy like Jacob Fatu's come in, he's got so much momentum. Because he didn't waste 2-3 years in NXT.
He definitely could go to NXT, have crazy matches, be super over with the NXT crowd, but like he's better than that. You know,
Yeah, and
not
he's
to
not.
diminish NXT because there's some really talented men and women in NXT, but it's got its own crowd, if you know what I mean. Like a guy like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, they're like NXT superstars, but
Yeah.
they're mid on the main roster. It's just that sort of audience. But yeah, a guy like Jacob Fatu, people, even if you don't know who he is, you're gonna kind of know who he is. He's part of the bloodline, part of that family. You're gonna know what type of wrestler he is. You see him in the ring, you're like, how does a guy look like that do the stuff that he's doing? Really talented in the ring. Obviously, physically imposing guy too. So it's not like one of these indie bums like that's like looking like me, just coming in whipping a guy like Roman Reigns. Like nah, guy like Jacob Fatu, he's got the believability of a superstar.
Exactly.
But yeah, the next one was El Grande Americano defeating Rey Fenix. I don't think there's too much to be said about this match because it was supposed to be Rey Mysterio up to the day before.
Yeah.
So whatever happened in this match is obviously not to full plan. If it was Rey in there, I think he might have won, but maybe not if they wanted to continue this El Grande Americano stuff. But obviously, as soon as Rey Fenix got put in there, it was kind of guaranteed that El Grande was going to win.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it really damages Rey Fenix too much to lose his first Mania match because it was a sort of short notice one, and he's sort of babyface. It's obviously El Grande Americano didn't win cleanly either, and they're gonna carry this on. It's pretty good. I like like Chad Gable we saw in that video. A man said he was robbed again.
Yeah, that was funny.
It's cold. It is cold.
Yeah, and again, I want to see a guy like Rey Fenix probably made his debut like a month ago, month and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
So a guy he's not going to come into WrestleMania and win straight away. You know, he's not that type of star, but he's very talented in the ring. So I hope that he finds his way. But you know, it's not really much to be said about that match.
No, I agree.
And then we had the Tiffany Stratton defeating Charlotte Flair. Again, expected result. It was a decent match. I never really rated Charlotte that much in the first place, to be honest. But
okay,
it was a decent match. Tiffany Stratton should have won. She's way younger, but the rivalry, I'll say, the build-up was way more entertaining and satisfying than the match itself.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, Charlotte Flair, has she even been wrestling? Like,
not
she won
really.
The Rumble, didn't she?
So she came back at the Royal Rumble.
And has she even been wrestling that much since at the Rumble?
Since the Rumble, I don't think she's been wrestling that much, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know because I'm not watching these women's matches regardless. But I think there was around like the tag team match, Naomi, and then the Tiffany Stratton match. I probably just fell asleep or was just getting fried, and I can't even remember these matches.
Oh, for real. There is some filler in here for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you start with a Jey Uso match, you're looking forward to the Jacob Fatu match, and then you're just waiting for the triple threat.
For real.
Might as well move on to that, that segue right there. Seth Rollins defeating Roman Reigns and CM Punk with Paul Heyman. A whole bag of stuff going on in this match, but I'll let you start.
I mean, we pretty much predicted it correctly, didn't we?
Yeah, I didn't see it that way at first, I remember, but you definitely convinced me during that podcast, that pre-Mania podcast.
Yeah, so then obviously Seth beat Roman and Punk. Paul Heyman turned on both of them. It was a decent match. I think people are saying it's like a top 5 triple threat match ever. I don't think I'd put it up there. I think there's been a number of really good triple threat matches. I don't think it's quite there, but the ending is probably top 5.
Yeah, the ending was cinema.
Paul Heyman does his thing as usual, and it's the sort of thing you end night one of WrestleMania, and you're like, I've got to see what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw with Seth. Obviously, they followed up
for sure,
even crazier on Monday Night Raw, but big win for Seth. Seth, like I said, on the pre-Mania pod, Seth needed to win the most, in my opinion.
Yeah, because a guy like Roman, with the run he had, he's so extremely over with the fans, and CM Punk, we don't even need to explain how he's just the ultimate fan favorite, and so they all are to be there. Seth Rollins is definitely a fan favorite as well, but in terms of momentum and where you're going, Seth Rollins definitely needed this to help him, because Roman Reigns can do anything, CM Punk can do anything, but Seth Rollins, I feel like he needs to be working with certain people.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. And it probably went the way it needed to. And yeah, definitely. We might as well link in the Bron Breakker joining their little faction on Raw as well.
Yeah,
coming in and spearing Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and that was crazy. And then putting him through the railing as well. Wild.
Yeah. I mean, Bron Breakker is like the future star. He's like the guy. 5 years, 10 years down the line, you're putting him into the GOAT conversations 10 years down the line, I feel like.
Yeah, I think WWE, as long as he, stays in WWE, stays healthy, doesn't have major injuries, like I said, I think he's definitely on track to be there. Because I think WWE, definitely looking at him to be the next big star. And he can deliver. He can deliver good matches. He's got that, well, I was almost going to say ruthless aggression, but that's what he's got, to be fair.
No, he has, though. He really has.
He's got that.
I feel like he gets the performance aspect as well. He's not just getting in the ring and doing moves and picking up a mic and cutting a promo. He's he's performing with it. His facial expressions and just the deliberacy of certain things that he's doing.
Yeah,
it's really, really impressive. And I mean, you expect him to just be pushed to the absolute moon. I mean, he dropped his Intercontinental title, and then the next day he got pushed into the main event scene. So
exactly,
I think that probably tells you that how WWE feel about him is how I feel about him as well.
Yeah.
But that main event I enjoyed it a lot, and the ending was, after we spoke about it on the pod, it was one that I potentially saw coming, but still enjoyable. Regardless.
No, definitely. Well, what did you think of night one as a whole then?
Night one as a whole, I thought was better than night two, to be honest. Yeah. I enjoyed night one better than night two, and I think that's mainly because of the main event. The main event, what happened story-wise with the main event, because the matches were neither here nor there, both main events. I mean, the triple threat was definitely the better match, but isn't gonna swing me. It's more the story, and the story of that triple threat is way better than the story of the night two main event, in my opinion. But night one, I'll definitely say I enjoyed it more than night two. What about you?
Yeah, I'd say night one was a bit better. Largely, pretty much what you're saying. Largely because of the main event, I enjoyed the night one main event more than the night two main event. The undercards for both of them wasn't anything special. But pretty much exactly what you said. The main event is what swayed me.
I would say looking at both the cards, it looks like they wanted night two to be better, but just the way things panned out, I think the matches night one ended up being better. But we might as well quickly go over night two as well. You had Io Sky defeating Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. I thought this match was really good. I watched it. I thought it was a really good match. I've gained a lot of ratings for Io Sky after that match, because I didn't know too much about her. I knew she was a little Jap like woman, backflipping off the top rope and that. Can't speak English. Well, she can kind of speak English now, but
he speaks English like Anderson Silva when he said "I back."
I back. Trust me, I back. She was like, "I am champion."
Yeah.
It's alright though. Like she would hold it at the end of the day, and
no doubt.
That's all that matters, isn't it?
Facts. That is all that matters, man.
Well, no, this match was really good though, and it felt longer than it was. Apparently, it was only 14 minutes. It felt longer than that.
Oh, wow.
Really good match, and it was again like we predicted. Io Sky's going to retain based off Bianca and Rhea Ripley being too focused on each other, and it was definitely what they set up, but it's the way we predicted it as well.
Yeah. I didn't think I never went into this match thinking Bianca Belair was going to win it because I knew probably what Bianca Belair is going to next is probably back to Naomi and Jade Cargill and all that. So I think it was either going to be between Io Sky or Rhea Ripley, and I'm thinking Rhea Ripley, on one hand, she's the biggest star in the women's division, so you give her the belt. On the other hand, she's the biggest star in the women's division, so she doesn't need the belt.
Exactly.
So, and then they kind of just went with that one where she doesn't need the belt, and Io Sky just retained, and so it's sort of what we predicted. But it was a good match as far as women's triple threat matches go. It was enjoyable, and yeah, I was shocked to hear it was only 14 minutes. It felt like it was longer, but they fit a lot into that match. It was.
And it does help when you got jiggle physics on Rhea Ripley and that, like, it definitely helps with the watch. Obviously, I'm not too fond of Bianca. I think I put her in the dead category because she's just too bolo.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Jade Cargill bolo where you have meat and
it's
jiggle
weird,
physics,
though.
and then there's Bianca Belair bolo where you have zero jiggle physics. You're just pure stiff muscle.
Yeah, it's weird because Jade Cargill's more bolo than Bianca.
She is more
Belair.
bolo. I would say she's definitely like more defined and bigger.
Yeah.
But Bianca Belair just looks like she has no malleability, no movement. Do you know what I mean? It's just
squeeze, isn't it?
Yeah, nothing to squeeze. Like you're just gonna be grabbing onto muscle. But
yeah,
I don't know how to explain it. But like, yeah, and also Jade Cargill, when she gets them, what do they call it? A weave, the white hair weave. Yeah, that can run.
But Bianca Belair, yeah.
Jade Cargill.
Well, she's got the
I don't know. What is it? Just a wig?
Grey hair.
Weave?
Yeah. It'd be like a wig. Yeah.
Yeah, that can run.
Yeah. I can still pull it off, innit?
Pull something off. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, facts. You just need to grab her, bend her over, and pull it off.
Well, she would definitely just chuck me if she wanted to, but
yeah, but
maybe exactly. Maybe I want that to happen.
Yeah, she could try that with me, bro. I'm shooting for a double, bro. I'm shooting for a double, and I'm passing guard.
Sure, I'm doing a bit more than passing guard.
Yeah, that's
what did my man say? You can't let a guy like me have Paolo Banchero. He said you can't let a guy like me have invisibility. That's what it's like, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm just too sick. Like you can't let me in.
Facts. The women's tier list was elite work, so I did rate it.
No, I had to do it. I was just like, oh, that would be decent content. Yeah.
But you weren't trying to do the tier list of the Olympus Has Fallen genre of films, though.
Yeah, that would actually mean I'd have to watch all of them.
Because it was like Olympus Has Fallen, White House Down was one of them.
There was like Paris Has Fallen or something. There was the one where Jamie Foxx was the president.
Yeah, they're just reaching, innit? Just reaching.
Doing like just recycling the same plot and just hoping people don't notice.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't really think people did notice.
I don't know, because it had a little period where this is what was getting made, didn't it? It must have been the sort of thing where you think these companies, surely if it's not successful, they wouldn't be doing it. But I imagine these films were probably very cheap to make because they weren't using loads of CGI. A lot of them were like shot in like one building. Like if it was like the White House Down, it was mostly shot in like a White House, not the real White House. Obviously, they would have made a set, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately they are kind of just generic action movies, and the novelty of it is you have a famous location being run wild on, I guess. But it's kind of weird how far they went with it. Like one or two of those sort of films, okay, but then it became like a whole genre. Like you said before, I think you said to me the other day, it became a whole subgenre.
It felt like that. You know, like you said, these places getting run wild on them. But what are they going to do when Hulkamania runs wild on them?
Brother.
Exactly, bro.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
It never does.
I have to forgive him for his racism, though.
No, facts. I mean, he was geeked.
In the comfort of his own home, not knowing he's being recorded. What's wrong with that?
You know what I mean? What's up with that, you coward?
What's up with that, you coward? Yeah, what's wrong with a children's hospital?
Facts. The first real fight.
I'm gonna say, my real name's Randy Poffel.
Let's say, well, thank you very much for that, innit? His real
Radio
name's Karen
waves.
Balea. My
Yeah.
real name's Randy Poffo. Never been
My
best
man
friends.
was really diddling Stephanie McMahon though.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. That's what man. She was only like 15 as well. I got to leave for
Yeah, it's
something.
alright, though, isn't it?
Look, man, Liz is worse than
It's
most.
not alright. No, let's make one thing clear. It's definitely not alright, but
Game is game at the end of the day, isn't it?
it's already happened. Yeah, game is game.
He did
I
that to her, and then like he went home to Miss Elizabeth, innit?
I don't see Stephanie McMahon breaking down on national TV.
Yeah, exactly.
So that must mean it's alright.
And she's not snitching. She's never confirmed it, so maybe she.
And even if she did snitch, what's she gonna do? He's dead.
Exactly, bro. That's what all these chicks need to understand.
And there's no point airing out man's dirty laundry years after he dies. Like, no.
I mean, for
what?
what?
Let him be.
The thing is, even if he was alive, like, what are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna bag him like an old man to get him bagged, or what? He's got no money to take. She's richer than him.
These sickos in this industry, she probably looks back on it with fondness. I'll be honest. She probably doesn't even look back on it like, oh, I got molested by Randy Savage. Like, no, she probably like, yeah, I was with Randy Savage. Like, yeah, probably like, and now I'm with Triple H. Like, I'm with two of the biggest stars in the company's history.
Facts.
Like, just some power trip.
Yep. So it gets to some of these chicks though, man.
I hear it, and if she start getting slapped in the storylines and that,
yeah, make some real money. Not that she ever needed to be fair.
I guess that was the McMahon's gimmick, just money.
Facts.
But back to WrestleMania. After that dark, extremely dark, short discussion, but yeah, the next one was my personal favorite match of WrestleMania. No. I've jumped the gun a bit too early. The next one was Drew McIntyre against Damian Priest, which was actually my probably least favorite match, other than the tag matches of this.
These sorts of matches in WrestleMania never hit. I'll be real.
No,
like I don't know if it's to do with like the atmosphere, but having like a street fight in these sorts of, these sorts of manias, it doesn't hit for me. They would have been better off just having a normal match, I think.
Yeah, I mean the couples, the main two spots I can remember, was Damian Priest getting, what was it he went to do? He tried to do an old school to Drew McIntyre, and he just got pushed into two tables. In front of the announce desk, and the other one was when Damian Priest set up the chair in the corner, and then Drew McIntyre ended up using it to claymore his head into it, and then pinned him for the finish. Those were the two main spots I remember, which were the first spot where Damian Priest fell into the tables. That was alright.
Yeah.
But other than that, like you said, this match, it really didn't need to be like a street fighter, or I don't know why they called it I mean, I get New Vegas is Sin City, and they called it Sin City Street Fight, but still don't understand the naming in that.
Yeah, because there's literally nothing different to it.
They didn't even go up, like, I was expecting them to go backstage, maybe even onto the street somehow or something. I was expecting madnesses, but I don't think they went up the stage, up the ramp. I think they just stayed by ringside.
It was a long ramp as well, to be fair. So they weren't going all the way up there.
But yeah, I like Drew McIntyre. It made sense for him to win. Just a bit of a nothing match, like you said. These type of WrestleManias, it's not really doing too much.
I like the spot when Drew gave him the DDT onto the stairs. I mean, I didn't like it, but it was a memorable moment. It's a bit nuts to me.
What was it you said? You said to me you don't like when guys' finishes don't look dangerous. Like Drew McIntyre.
It feels like you're doing more damage to yourself than the guy you're giving the move to.
And I like to tell you that man broke Charlie Huss's neck with that move.
Yeah, definitely. You're getting your head driven into the ground, innit? Like no doubt, I'm sure it hurts, but like you're the one slamming your back onto the stairs, bro. Like,
no, I get what you mean. Like, man's like, what did you say? Yeah, RKO through the table when Randy RKO through the table.
People through like the commentators' table. Like you look like you're hurting yourself more than my man.
I'll be honest, a lot of moves are like that though.
Yeah, they are. That's the problem.
Yeah. Whether it's to do with like the way people sell it or just the move itself, like what Yeah, like a superplex, for example. Like, I'm like, surely that couldn't have hurt the other guy that much more than it hurt you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And just other what's another one? Oh, it's like those grapple moves where they lift them up and then someone lands on that. Like Spanish Fly. That's another one. Like you're back flipping onto your front, and and the guy's just flipping forward onto his back, but that's supposed to hurt him more than you.
Exactly.
Like, come on. I do get where you're coming from with these moves, but I guess it's wrestling, isn't it? You're supposed to sort of suspend your belief.
Exactly. No, definitely.
But yeah, the next match was my actual favourite match.
Yeah.
Of the whole WrestleMania, which was the Fatal 4-Way. Mysterio pinning Finn Balor, as again we predicted.
Yes.
And Braun Breaker and Penta in that match as well.
Yeah. Happy that Dom, is winning his first belt. In my opinion, I think Dom's going to be up there with a Braun Breaker in terms of the future stars for the company, because a guy like Dom, he's so good at being a heel. Like, very, very rarely in WWE do you get guys that are this hated as much as Dominic Mysterio and can actually wrestle in ring and have matches.
And I think he does it well, because a lot of guys would look at, his father is probably one of the most over baby faces in the history of wrestling, so he's going to be a baby face and try ride off it. But he did the opposite. Went heel, went against him, and he's just used that to gain more and more heat until we got to this point now where he's over with the fans. They love him.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's Intercontinental Champion. And obviously, Braun Breaker lost the belt, but he's sort of lost the belt
really
and
didn't need it.
Yeah, gone into something even bigger, which is for the best, because Braun Breaker doesn't need the IC title being in that stable with Seth and Heyman.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. He's been chucked into the main event scene now, and I'm not sure exactly what they got planned for Heyman, Rollins, Braun, and maybe if they add another member or two, but it's definitely going to be big news for Braun Breaker.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I wonder who the third guy's going to be.
Yeah, if there is a third guy, but what I'm thinking is, like, Braun Breaker's going to be the enforcer for Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, and it's going to get to a point where he realizes he's being taken advantage of, or this and that. Face turns on Rollins, big match with Rollins. That's way further down the line, but
probably for a world title at that point.
Yeah, probably for a world title, but maybe Rollins will have the world title by then. Would probably make sense if he's like the lead wrestler of a faction for him to have a world title.
Yeah.
But yeah, big time looking forward to what they got going on there with Braun Breaker.
Well, Loki, now that we're talking about it, I'm kind of thinking this is basically going to be like Evolution 2.0.
Yeah, that's what people have been saying. People have been saying Braun Breaker's the Batista, Seth Rollins is the Triple H, and Paul Heyman's the Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And now you just need one more guy.
Randy, yeah. You need someone to be Randy.
I can't remember. Was it Randy they kicked out of Evolution first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Randy got kicked out first. Then they tried to turn Randy face. That wasn't really working. Yeah. And then after it was Batista.
I think they kind of realized with Randy that, like, he's him as a heel is probably top 3 heel ever.
Yeah.
Maybe top 2.
Yeah. And he had to have a long heel run before he could become a face. Yeah,
it's essentially being a face just by popularity.
Yeah, by that point,
It's just like he's not. People don't actually like rate what he's doing per se, but he's just so popular and he's been there for so long that he's just a face because he's so popular.
Yeah,
it's like with CM Punk. Like they couldn't turn CM Punk into a heel because he's just way too popular for that. You couldn't have him doing heelish stuff to try and gain heat when people are just going to cheer him no matter what.
They just cheer him, yeah. They cheer him regardless. Yeah.
But actually, speaking of Randy Orton, that was the next match. Randy Orton defeating your guy, Joe Hendry, TNA World Champion. I really loved this. I wouldn't even call it a match. I'll call it more of a segment. Really loved this segment because I think it does a lot for everyone. Randy Orton gets his 20th WrestleMania match and wins. TNA gets put on the map like you never thought they would. Who would have thought that TNA World Champions walking out at WrestleMania with a strap around his waist?
I think Randy Orton as well.
To face Randy Orton, I mean, who cares if he got squashed? That's not the point, really, isn't the point.
Yeah.
I think people saying, "Oh, this makes TNA look bad." Their champion went in and got squashed by Randy Orton. Mate, it's Randy Orton.
Yeah.
He's being put in this position now, Randy Orton, where he's mega dangerous. No one go near him because anyone can get it. Sort of. That's sort of looks like what they got going on with Randy Orton.
Yeah.
An RKO or two, and like you're fully done out. So it's not even a case of the TNA champs been made to look bad. Like, no, I think this is probably the biggest favor WWE could have done TNA.
I think so. The most exposure they've ever got, for sure. In years.
For a long time, because since all the big TNA stars really left,
yeah,
they've essentially just been like more of an indie promotion.
Yeah, I mean, they just went down and down and down. These past few years, they've been building themselves up. I would say probably from 2000, their downfall really began in 2013. And it kept going down from like 14, 15, 16, 17. And by 2017, they had lost
Sting. I think when AJ Styles left, it was really the...
Yeah, AJ, Samoa Joe, all of their sort of...
Because AJ probably left around 2015, right? 2015, 2016?
Before that, he left around 2000.
Oh, no, because he went... I'm thinking when he didn't go straight to WWE from TNA,
No, he went to New Japan. So he left TNA probably 2014, then went New Japan for.
I remember him in New Japan now.
And obviously Samoa Joe went to NXT, Sting went to WWE, Kurt Angle went back to WWE.
And I forgot Angle went back to WWE.
Yeah, and then you had companies like Lucha Underground go out of business, and then TNA lucky picked up a lot of those guys. Picked up Pentagon. John Morrison, Brian Cage, a lot of these guys.
Yeah, these sort of guys that aren't in the interest of the WWE, but are big enough names to hold up a TNA.
Yeah, and from then, probably around 2019, out of nowhere, TNA started putting on some pretty decent shows. They had Pentagon as the world champion for a bit. Then obviously 2020 came, lockdown is behind closed doors. Then they started working with AEW a bit through like 2020, 21, 22. Then eventually that sort of relationship stopped. Then TNA kept doing their thing, and then now they've got the partnership with WWE. They've sort of just rebuilt themselves, but when it really started to work for them was when they stopped trying to be WWE.
And I think that's really how these other promotions succeed is trying not to be WWE, because if someone wants to watch WWE, they will just watch the WWE. They're not going to watch a knockoff version. But if you try and be your own thing, it gives you your USP, innit?
Yeah, and they focused, instead of trying to get the best ex-WWE guys, they got the best guys that were, the best free agents guys, like I said, like Penta. Karrion Kross was in TNA for a while. They had a decent roster, and they've still got a decent roster now, and to be fair. A bit different.
And working with WWE it's just only going to help them. Definitely only going to help them.
I was definitely shocked when I saw Joe Hendry come out.
He wasn't on my list of guys. I thought least likely. I had 3 guys in my head. Least likely was Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
Middle likely was Aleister Black, because he was rumored to be coming back, and the most likely who I thought was going to be walking out was Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
And then, you just had a guy like Joe Hendry. I didn't see it coming, really. Because I did think it has to be a guy with recognizable music that you're going to know off the first couple seconds, right? Because you're not just going to have a guy like Carmelo Hayes come out, people wondering who it is. He comes out and it's a mediocre pop. And
that'd be a joke.
A guy like Joe Hendry, you hear the say his name, and then huge pop. And he comes out, has his segment. It was good stuff. I enjoyed it.
Should have brought Bray Wyatt back from the dead, didn't it?
Reanimating. Now imagine how much of a star he would be right now, though, if he didn't die.
I know, bro. I know.
I guess
trying to redo it all with the Wyatt sticks, but that's not.
It's not the same, is it? It's not the same.
Because Bo Dallas can never be Bray Wyatt, bro.
Like, there's a reason why Bo Dallas was Bo Dallas.
Yeah. Like you're just not him, bro. You're not creative. You've not got the delivery in the promos. You're just not him, bro.
And what was the next one? Logan Paul defeating AJ Styles. For me, the more interesting part about this match is the Karrion Kross stuff.
Yeah, this was one where I was probably faded or fell asleep for this one. Yeah, I literally cannot remember much from this match.
Yeah, the match itself, it didn't have any of those sort of Logan Paul spots or moments that you would have expected. It was more of just a wrestling match rather than a spot fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what was the finish? Was it Karrion Kross came out, tried to give AJ Styles like the brass knuckles or something?
Yeah,
and then,
something like that.
And then AJ Styles basically said no, and then got distracted, and then Logan Paul beat him.
Yep.
I suppose Logan does need the win way more than AJ does, but for again, I'm way more interested in the Karrion Kross stuff. That's what I'm mainly going to be talking about this match because, I mean, like I've said before, his role in WWE right now is really intriguing because he's more of a POV / like a narrator for the storylines of WWE, and he doesn't even really need to be a wrestler, like at all, in my opinion.
Big man's like the Watcher.
Yeah, like the Watcher on the What If series, isn't it?
That's cold.
I want to see like these backstage, like maybe even like not cringe, but like maybe like there's like a backstage segment, and then you think the segment stopped, and then the camera pans and Karrion Kross is just sitting there, and then he gives his little breakdown and take of what just happened and what should happen or whatever. Like he doesn't need to be a wrestler at all. Like he does these little promos so well, and his character in itself is so intriguing. And that promo that he had on that little podcast or whatever it was after WrestleMania was fire. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been needing to see that Karrion Kross for a long time, bro. To be fair, we do see it when he's on TV. He is like this, bro. Like with the delivery of the promos, one of the best promos in WWE at the moment in terms of his ability to cut them. I've talked about him before in previous episodes, but this guy's intensities and the look in his eyes, bro, and the conviction that he speaks with, it's truly one of a kind. And he's got the look to back it up as well. He's a big bolo dude who looks like he could do serious harm to brothers.
Yeah, I think a guy like him, when he's doing that sort of work shoot promo, you really believe it because, like you said, the intensity and the way he's delivering these promos and the look he has. I mean, you believe every damn word that he's saying.
It feels like he would cut that promo, like walk out, and if you saw Triple H, you just bad him up. You start grabbing
it doesn't feel like they'd just be like. It doesn't feel like Karrion Kross would go, "Yeah, that was a good promo, right?" Like, no, he'd look like you said, he would just walk out of that promo. Triple H would be like, "Good one, man," and then Karrion Kross would just spark him. Like, it'll say, "What?" Man, yeah, that Triple H voice.
Yeah, facts.
That was a good promo.
Yeah, facts.
But no, big time interested in Karrion Kross, and he again, like for me, like he's not a young guy, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't need to wrestle.
No,
I don't even really know. I think the only time I've actually seen him wrestle was in the Battle Royal they had on Smack. I think Andre Memorial Battle Royal they had, and his Raw match with AJ Styles before WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
They're the actual only 2 times I've seen him wrestle, and it really could care less about his wrestling ability.
And when he first came into WWE, he was in NXT. Had this.
Yeah, I know he was in NXT.
Went crazy.
He had like
in
the
NXT.
shaved head and stuff.
Yeah, bro, he looked like a nutcase, brother. That's when, because man's entrance was wild. Like it would be like in black and white, and Scarlett, his thing would come out with like a hourglass, and she'd turn it, and it's like time's ticking for the opponent, innit? It was mad.
That's quite cold.
It's mad.
And he's another guy where you believe that he can whoop anyone in WWE's ass.
I think he's like a black belt in jiu-jitsu or something.
Nothing like I know I saw him competing in like in jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Yeah.
But he's a legit guy. You know,
Yeah.
right? There's something to be said about that. You know, a guy like Jey Uso, do I believe that he's whipping these guys? Do I believe that he could whoop Gunter's ass in a real fight? No, no chance. Again, like I said before, part of it is suspending your belief. But when you have a guy like Karrion Kross delivering these promos with the conviction that he is, and then whipping guys' asses as well, like you really do believe it.
Yeah, definitely.
That he is what he says, but. Again, like Braun Breaker, I'm super excited to see what they're going to do with him, and I really hope that they don't underestimate how important he can be in the WWE.
Definitely. The thing is, with Karrion Kross, if they're just looking at him from like an in-ring talent, there are a lot of guys that can do what he does in terms of like be a big athletic guy. But what really sets him apart is his character work and his promo. WWE should like recognize that and either put him in a big storyline. It's weird because there's not a lot of face champions right now. You know, Dom's a heel, Jacob Fatu's a heel.
Cena's heel. Jey Uso's face.
Jey Uso's a face, and I don't think he's going to go straight into a world title shot against Jey Uso. Even though I wouldn't mind that, of course, but I don't think that's what's going to happen.
But even I feel like the character work between them two would be really good.
It would be.
Like I said, like you said, I don't think they're just going to put him straight into that.
Yeah.
I think they've got other guys that they view as main event talent that they're going to put in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well just move on to the main event. Big John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena wins his 17th world title.
Making history, the GOAT. Yeah, obviously his promos leading up to WrestleMania have all been very good.
Yeah.
And I think he's kind of exposing Cody Rhodes a little bit even.
I don't know. I think Cody Rhodes, in a lot of sense, of sort of stepping up to the plate as well. I felt it was a sort of storyline where I think both of us will sort of look back on Cody Rhodes' title reign quite similarly, where it sort of ran out of steam pretty early on and was sort of underwhelming, and we just felt like we were just wasting time until WrestleMania. But it sort of showed me that with Cody Rhodes, if you've got him against like the right guy that can get the most out of him in like promos and storyline and build up to a match, you can still have like exciting matches. Not exciting matches.
Even with that being said, I kind of look at Cody Rhodes and I think, you know, what drives his character? He's kind of just a good guy for the sake of being a good guy.
Yeah, like, I mean he's sort of been like that's sort of always been his thing. Since he's come back to WWE and even in AEW, that has pretty much been his thing.
Like he's another one of those guys. Like I look at how over he is with the fans, and I think that he's over for superficial reasons. I think he's over because entrance music and he's been around for a long time and he's friends with this people behind the scenes and this and that. Like I don't think he's like. I think some of his promo work is really good. I will admit that. I'm not going to say that he's a bad promo because he's just not. He's a very good promo. But I think some of the stuff even Cena was saying was very true. Like how he was saying, like he even said like he's kind of good for the sake of being good, and he's going to realize that it's not going to help him and it's only going to lead to his downfall. And I think he called him. He even called him like a face by the numbers or champion by the numbers or something like that. And in that kind of resonant, like basically he's saying like the only reason why you've been given the success you have is because people like you. Like there's no actual real reason behind it, and I do kind of agree. I don't think. I mean, obviously Cody Rhodes has done something to get to the position where he has. He wouldn't be there if he didn't. But I do think it's kind of similar to Jey Uso, where he's kind of over for superficial reasons.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the thing is, at least with Cody, he can put on good matches. Jey Uso's matches.
Yeah, really I would agree with that. And again, with Cody Rhodes, it's not really about the match or the pacing of the match itself. It's about the storytelling within the match that he's really good at.
Yes.
Whereas Jey Uso is pretty much a spamming super kicks and spears.
Jesus. And that's the sort of reason why I'm thinking this guy can't be world champion. But hey ho. It's WWE, man.
No, that's your guy, man. Jey Uso.
No, I did rate him, bro. When it was straight after not last year's WrestleMania, the year before, when he was in like a tag team with Cody, and he like first sort of became main event Jey Uso.
But even then, like his name is main event Jey Uso, and he opened WrestleMania.
Yeah, but back then, because it was so new, because at that point he had just left the Bloodline, and everyone's like, "Raw, what's man gonna do now?" Because this is the first time in his career where he's been a solo guy.
Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. Imagine if someone told us in secondary school, "Yeah, Jey Uso is gonna win the world title at WrestleMania."
Yeah, no.
I'd be like, "Hey,
yeah." Well, I'd say which one is Jey, innit? Because
facts.
It's only the past couple of years I can actually tell the difference.
Facts. Which one is Jey?
For real, man.
They both were just the same in my eyes, and they still are. I've seen some of Jimmy's promo. Some of Jimmy's promo work is good. Some of Jimmy's promo work's really good, and they're literally they're carbon copies of each other in the ring.
Oh, of course, yeah.
When I do deep it, I'm like, what is the difference? What is the difference between Jimmy and Jey Uso?
No, there isn't. It's just Jay's more over.
The only difference is that Jey says yeet, has cool entrance music, and is just over.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Back to John Cena though. Yeah, obviously this was another expected result. I was expecting The Rock, to be honest. I was expecting The Rock to show up.
I was expecting at least The Rock. When I saw Travis Scott come out, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, The Rock's going to come in now.
The Rock's followed. That's why I think the finish was so awful, because now we have to remember the reason why John Cena won his 17th World Championship because of Travis Scott.
Yeah.
I mean, that's forever burned into WrestleMania history and our minds.
And the match was pretty boring.
I mean, really, really slow start to the match. Really slow. You had Cena like leaving the ring and just looking at Cody Rhodes, and it was a 20-minute match. I mean, just to think that 4-way intercontinental match was 10 minutes.
Wow.
And this match was 21 minutes.
Yeah.
Obviously, you had a lot of I think I read Travis Scott took 2 minutes or 1 minute and 50 seconds to go from the ramp to the ring. So if there's ever a way to slow down the momentum of a match, and that's how you do it.
Yep. That is the way to do it. But to be fair to him, probably when, before he's going out, they're probably just telling him, like, just go as slow as possible. Probably, do you know what I mean? They're probably telling him to.
And I do hear that because a lot of these celebrities do tend to get, like, really excited and just go.
Yeah.
And they probably had their time plans and wanted things to happen at a certain time, and they wanted Cody or Cena to be down for a certain amount of time, but.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think anyone was here for the match. I think everyone was just here to see Cena win 17. And for the way I see I didn't enjoy the match. I didn't enjoy the finish. But all that mattered was Cena getting 17 to me. I think that needed to happen. And it did.
Yeah, I agree. It would have been nice for it to be a good match, though.
Yeah, of course. But, I mean, when you look at a guy like Cena, was never that great in the ring to begin with. Did have a bit of an evolution later on in his career, but at this age, I don't think you can be asking anything outside the norm from John Cena.
I hear it. Yeah, I do hear.
But a guy like Cody Rhodes, like you said, he's good in the ring. He can put on good matches, but I really don't think that was the purpose of this match. I don't think they wanted to put on a good match.
It's the main event, bro. You got to want to put on.
I get it.
That both of them should have gone all out a bit more.
I get it, but I think they are trying to be like a little bit too meta. Like you're having this whole John Cena's going to ruin wrestling thing. Like, don't literally ruin wrestling.
Yeah, facts.
Like, come on, don't literally ruin it.
Yeah, facts. And that's probably the main criticism I would have of this heel Cena run, is that he's doing a bit too much. Like, it feels like he's just trying to be a heel in the arena too much, rather than telling like a true villain arc.
Yeah, I agree.
Like insulting the crowd, it's just like low hanging fruit, and you're just trying to get boos in the arena.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I get, if it was any other heel, I'd probably say like you're right and they shouldn't do it, but because it's Cena and he has done it, but not for a long, long time. That sort of insulting the crowd and crowd work sort of stuff. I think it's kind of working for him because he's so ridiculously respected and over with the crowd. Like, it doesn't really matter what he does. He's sort of just going to get noise made for him anyway.
Yes. Yeah, of
But I
course.
hope that they can move away a bit from that because, a lot of those John Cena promos was him really just insulting the fans, like you said, and then when Cody Rhodes would come out, he'd insult Cody Rhodes. But I hope we can get a bit more like dynamic heel work from Cena rather than just trying to get heat.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
And as we know, his first pay-per-view title match with number 17 is going to be against Randy Orton.
Yep. Well, they completely blew my plan for Cena's heel last year completely out the water because I didn't want this match to happen to like Survivor Series, but they're kicking it off with Cena v Randy.
In my opinion, if everything was ideal, it would go the way you said. But I think they do kind of worry about Randy's injuries and stuff. And I think they think right now he's healthy, he's got momentum. Do it.
Yeah, and obviously the pay-per-view's in Randy's hometown. And
of course, that definitely helps.
And he was announced as like the cover for the poster like a couple of weeks ago as well. So you knew he was going to play like a major role on that Backlash. But yeah, we'll see. The thing is, I think a lot of people look Cena and Orton, they're legendary rivals, but their matches haven't been amazing.
They weren't even that great when they were in their primes.
Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of people are remembering. Obviously, they're two like iconic names for that generation. But if we look at
definitely rose-tinted glasses. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Because those matches, I mean, I don't know how many times they faced off against each other. It had to have been at least over 10 times on pay-per-view. Like maybe over. Yeah, it could be at least over 10 times on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Whether that's like triple threats or whatever, it has to be at least that many times. And we've seen it, but the only difference here is that the roles are reversed and Cena's heel and Orton's a face. Yeah. But again, I don't think we're really here for Cena's matches per se. I think it's more going to be about character work and storyline. But The Rock needs to do something, man, because you can't just involve yourself the way you did and then just fuck off.
But I agree. I think
I rate The Rock heavily. I think whenever he comes into WWE, he lights it up, and he's must-see TV, and his promos never fell off. He's amazing, and even as I've been doing this, I've been watching through the Attitude Era. I've been trying to watch every Attitude Era promo since from the Montreal Screwjob is what I started with Survivor Series 1996 or 1997 actually.
Yeah.
And then right now I'm at the start of 1999. And then even The Rock transitioning from Rocky Maivia to the Nation of Domination to The Rock, the People's Champion, the Great One. Like when he made that transition, when he started cutting these type of promos, instantly became mega over with the fans. Once people realized how talented he was, because they hated him before.
Yeah.
I mean, they kept saying every chance they got, the first, third generation superstar in the WWE, meant for greatness, this and that. And then they sort of stopped forcing him down people's throats. Yeah. And then he became his own guy and started cutting these promos and became really popular because he is one of the best promos in the history of the company. And for him to insert himself into this rivalry, the main WWE Championship storyline, and then to just fuck off. I mean, that promo CM Punk cut. He says, "You come out here with your bullshit, hitting your arm, your bullshit, you bald fraud." Like,
yeah.
That promo is looking so cold now.
Yeah, facts.
Like that promo is aging like wine.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Yeah, like you're saying, The Rock does need to do something. He's one of the best promos in wrestling. Excuse me, in wrestling, he's. Like I said, all that setup with John Cena, they've got to do something. I don't know.
Everything,
Because they were saying, I think The Rock was saying he wasn't needed for WrestleMania, but he kind of was.
Kind of was.
But I don't see him getting involved in like the Cena v Randy match. No. I think it's going to be something down the line. It's got to be something like SummerSlam or Survivor Series, maybe.
I mean, I would have thought like The Rock might have tried to come in and have his own rivalry. But he doesn't seem to want to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he could have a feud with CM Punk. He could have a feud with Cody Rhodes. He could turn on John Cena and have a feud with him.
Yeah, and there's always the Roman Reigns match down the line as
well.
well.
Roman Reigns as well. I mean, at one point, I thought we were essentially guaranteed to get The Rock versus Roman Reigns.
I mean, even though The Rock doesn't feel like he's aging, he isn't getting any younger.
No, and although like he's The Rock and his moves are his moves.
Yeah.
And I think we saw in that tag team match, when he's protected and does his certain things, bits and pieces, that he can look good. But like you said, you know, he's in his 50s. He's not going to be working these 20-minute matches with these younger stars and whatnot.
But yeah, Cena wins number 17. That wasn't a great end. It was a decent ending to see Cena win the 17th title for WrestleMania.
The finish of the match though was iffy.
Pretty dull. It was pretty dull, and Mania as a whole wasn't anything crazy.
No, it was. I think there were moments when it was really good, and then there was, like you said, dull. Other moments where it was just dull.
Yeah, like
both the tag team matches was dull. Like Jey Uso is whatever. Like Drew McIntyre versus Damien Priest, the whole Randy Orton, that was a cool segment, but it lasted about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Logan Paul versus AJ Styles, dull other than carrying across. I mean, even the main event, like everyone knew John Cena was going to win, and then the match itself was mid, and the finish was awful. So it's like kind of you finish watching WrestleMania and you're like, oh, all right.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much everything went the way you expected it.
Pretty much, right? Pretty much. But that's being said, we are near Eubank Jr. v Ben.
I watched this main event.
I made a couple videos about it. Undercard predictions, main event predictions.
So who do you think? Just quickly, who do you think is going to win? Conor Ben?
No, I think Chris Eubank Jr. is going to win still.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's tough. But
I'm personally leaning Conor Ben, and that was before the whole weight stuff.
Yeah, the weight stuff.
I'm not picking Conor Ben because Eubank looked bad in his weight cut.
In my opinion, the weight cut is almost a non-factor.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Because when it's that little, and I don't even think Eubank Jr. looked. I've seen Eubank Jr. look worse at 160. Actually, I don't think he looks that bad at all. I've seen him look a lot worse at 160, but he's not a big 160er. And with scales, it's never precise, right? You could weigh yourself at home 160 pounds. Then you get to the official weigh-ins and you're 161 pounds. You know.
I was saying, how much did he miss weight by? It wasn't even a whole pound, was it?
It was 0.05 pounds.
How do you even measure that? How can you even accurately and confidently say someone missed weight by that much?
Exactly.
I don't get it.
And to charge him that much as well. But I think Eubank Jr. is the bigger guy. He's fought higher level guys as well. Lost to them, but he's at least been in there with them for 12 rounds. He's knocked out guys at a higher level than Conor Ben. Knocked out bigger guys than Conor Ben.
And this is Conor Ben's first fight back since popping, right?
Yes, it is. Is it? No, he has fought. He fought twice. He's fought two guys, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah. In those performances, it wasn't anything special. He didn't knock those guys out, and those guys are smaller than Chris Eubank Jr. He couldn't knock them out.
Peter Dobson and Rodolfo Orozco.
Yeah, they're still in the league, innit?
Well, they're like a fire sneaker plug, innit?
Yeah, facts. They've got a fire barbecue joint, innit?
So do you think Conor Ben is potentially overrated then?
Or
you just don't think he has what it takes for you to beat Eubank?
I think he's got ways to win. He's definitely got ways to win where, particularly at the start of the fight, when he's going to be most dangerous, he's going to, be trying to walk Chris Eubank Jr. down, and dominate him and try and put that pace on him, which no one's really done to Chris Eubank Jr. The guys that have beaten Chris Eubank Jr. have outboxed him, apart from Liam Smith, who he Eubank Jr. was kind of beaten until Liam Smith caught him and stopped him. The guys that have beaten Chris Eubank Jr. in the past, your George Groves and Billy Joe Saunders, outboxed him. Conor Benn's not going to be able to outbox Chris Eubank Jr.
So you feel like if somebody is to beat Chris Eubank, it's going to be based off like other factors, like catching him or being more powerful, being bigger. You don't think Conor Benn has any of those sort of X factors to be much of a threat?
Potentially at the start of the fight, I think at the start of the fight he's going to have power because the way Conor Benn fights, he loads up on his punches. He wings his punches, he plants his feet, he's going to walk guys down. He's going to be throwing with bad intentions. So early on in the fight, there's definitely a chance. It's really a matter of, can a 36-year-old Chris Eubank Jr. take those shots?
So you think if Conor Benn wins, it's going to be by a knockout?
Yeah, early on in the fight.
Okay, well, that's going to be really interesting because this is one of the most heated sort of rivalries in boxing for a while. These guys have been going at each other for years.
Yeah, I'm obviously been at it since their dads.
Well, yeah, their dads fought each other back in the day, which is mad as well. I wonder if that's happened before in boxing. Where two guys fought and then their sons fought each other.
Surely not. Not both sons, nah.
I wouldn't have. I mean, nothing. Maybe some obscure, but never to this level. I wouldn't have thought.
No, definitely not.
No. Your guy Vidal Riley did win the. What was it? The British
Cruiserweight. Yeah.
British Cruiserweight title.
Yeah, put some money on that.
Yeah. Well, now what's this fight going on right now? Anthony Yarde.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and watch that still. I might have to jump off in a minute still.
Yeah, get yourself. I just put it on myself.
Yeah, because Anthony Yarde, that's my guy, bro.
Oh, there's only 2 rounds left.
Okay, is he winning? Have you been watching it?
I've just put it on.
Okay, because if he's winning, then I'll make.
He's immediately pressuring Lyndon Arthur though, so it makes me think maybe he is, but
yeah. In the second fight, he stopped Lyndon Arthur. So.
Oh, so is this their third fight against each other?
It's their third fight, yeah. So the first fight was during lockdown behind closed doors, and Lyndon Arthur won, like a decision. It was sort of like it was a weird fight for Anthony Yarde because he was sort of, you see, like in this fight we're seeing him, pressuring Lyndon Arthur and sort of fighting to his strengths. In the first fight, he was sort of trying to fight at distance and trying to outbox Lyndon Arthur, but Lyndon Arthur's got a really good jab and a lot longer than Anthony Yarde, so that game plan wasn't going to work, and it didn't work. Lyndon Arthur won the fight.
It's looking like a close fight. Through 9 rounds, Yarde, Arthur, they were close. It was like 122 to 109, like significant shots or something like that.
Okay.
It's looking, the numbers look pretty close. But if Yarde's been pressuring him like this the whole fight, I wouldn't imagine them giving it to Arthur, but
yeah,
have to see. Yeah, no, you get yourself onto that. Was it? Or would you even watch it on the Fire Stick?
Yeah, got to, bro. Got to.
Yeah. This is I know you love the boxing, so I'll let you get to that.
Alright, G. Episode 25 of the Lonely Stoner podcast. We're out.
Peace.
Alright, cool.